My name's Lucy Hampton. I'm based in the UK. My work focuses on helping leaders and organisations create cultures where people can flourish and do their best work. Quite often the cultures can be really tough and leaders find themselves stuck trying to solve the same problems over and over again. And I help them solve that challenge by providing a different lens and focus on what might be the underlying causes that create these issues and looking at it more systemically. And fundamentally, it's really about creating safe organisations where people can flourish and find different solutions to existing problems. I've been really interested in the emerging field of neurobiology in coaching, and it's helped me make a lot of sense about what happens in organisations. And so when I saw the PRI tool come up and had a conversation with Paul and Nadine, I realised it could really help provide a structure for my thinking that I can then use with my clients. I really like the fact it built it on what I knew already, and it had a sound evidence base, which for some of my clients is really important. And it's something that I could build on above just working with individual clients to work with teams and potentially have conversations with some of the organisations I work with. Much of my work is working with people in highly stressed organisations, and often the people that work with them feel like they need to be heroic. So often the first thing I need to do with them is to get them to a place where they're feeling less stressed so that they can, or less stressed, more calm, feeling better, so that they can actually review what they're thinking and feeling. And actually, I've started using this as a first tool with many of my clients to explore both what resilience means and how they need this as their foundation, which is creating readiness much earlier with clients to go and do the work that they need to do to achieve their goals. The PRI tool has been overwhelmingly positive, and with one client in particular, I've known her for quite a long time. She's an organisational client and a fairly new coaching client. She's an aspiring chief executive. That will be her next role. And using the PRI tool has given some realizations around what she needs to do to step into her own power and get to that next level. And interestingly, she has a very high score in one area, and it's made her realise that she overinvests in that at the detriment to herself. And in order to get to that next level of chief exec, she needs to be able to really step into her own power and show people who she is rather than being other people's support. I really like the PRI assessment tool, and actually it's kind of reinvigorated what I'm doing, because it starts from the holistic systemic point of view, and I think it can really transform the work that you do with clients. My experience so far is it really speeds up the process and provides a solid foundation for the work that you do together, so that your results with a client, I think, are more likely to stick, and it means that they can then move on to the next level and actually, I think, really achieve the goals that they want to. What I really enjoyed about the PRI certification was the fact that Paul and Nadine really supported you to integrate it into your own practice. So it wasn't about being a different kind of coach, it was being who you are with some additional skills in what you did. I also thought it was a really useful process to understanding more about your own practice and because it was a process which was about integration, you went very quickly from having a kind of learner mindset and a bit of trepidation. And by the end of the workshop, I felt I really knew it and I could go and use it quite seamlessly in my practice. It was really easy to work with Paul and Nadine. They're very organised. All of the information comes when it's going to come. You're completely guided through the process, and they are really supportive. The feedback is great, and so you very quickly go from thinking I don't know what I'm doing to the point of going, actually I can use this immediately. So within the space of a few workshops, you have a lot of confidence, and actually you're ready to go by the end of it, so you can use it straight away. I think the PRI certification is most useful for coaches that have some experience and can build on their existing practice. Because this isn't really about teaching you coaching, it's about understanding what resilience is, the evidence base underpinning it, and how you can build it into your own style and what you do. So I think coaches with a little bit of experience and people who are really keen to find a new way into working with their organisations and refreshing what they're doing. Piece of advice would be to give some time to commit to it, and include in that time some time for reflection and how you can think about really integrating it into your own practice rather than just being an additional add-on. I think it's quite different to some other psychometric tools where you can just kind of offer them into a client. This has a really solid evidence base, and I think the time that you put into how you can reflect on integrating it into what you're doing already will help you take your coaching practice to another place.